Hey, what's up, everyone? So I goofed up a little bit on the Free Advice Friday. I'm test driving new software, and I'll be honest, I don't exactly know what I'm doing, but what I have just realized is that the broadcast that I had previously set up, I am not able to use, and so I am going to start a new broadcast, which I'm doing now. And as a result of that, I got to let everybody on the other stream know that they got to move over to this stream. So bear with me. This is all part of the fun and the learning curve of attempting to use new software and attempting to do something fun and new. But I want Free Advice Friday to be better. I want it to advance. So hang on a second, guys. Please join this link. There's a problem with the stream. Okay, so I apologize. I've downloaded this new software, which is software that allows me to broadcast to YouTube and do some other fun and cool things, which I'm very much looking forward to being able to do that. Like cool things like bringing a guest onto the broadcast, which is going to be really exciting and I really want to be able to do. Uh, Unfortunately, I haven't totally figured out how it all works at this point, which is why I had previously set up a different live stream and it is not allowing me to use that live stream link. So I apologize, but again, it's all part of the learning curve. Hello, Brent. Thanks for jumping over. Just explaining what I did. I am trying out some brand new streaming software for the first time, software that's going to allow me to do some fun things like bring a guest into the broadcast, which is really cool. Uh, Unfortunately, I didn't fully use that software the way that I was supposed to use the software, and so it messed up my stream. So I apologize for that, but hey, we're here now. Everything seems to be working. Hopefully, people will jump over and join the different stream link. Actually, you know what else I'm gonna do? I'm going to post the link for this new stream onto Facebook as well. So just bear with me while I do that. How do I do that? Videos. I have to find my. I don't even know where I'm at right now. This is all part of the learning curve of test driving some new software and trying to do some new cool things. So please bear with me while I try to figure all of that out. In the meantime, welcome to Free Advice Friday. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys. Looking forward to answering your voiceover business and marketing questions. Looking forward to, hopefully, if I can figure out how to do it, I've got plans for a special mystery guest to join us on the broadcast today. And that's something that I would like to be able to do for Free Advice Friday going forward. Free Advice Friday, I'm just putting this in the Facebook group. New link. Live now. Okay, we're going to post that there. So, bear with me while I try to figure it out. Welcome, Michael. Welcome, Veronica. Welcome, Graham from somewhere outside of Cornwallish. That's right. You were spending some time in Quebec, weren't you? Randy says, gotta find your real mic. What does that mean? Does this mean that my microphone's not working either? Hold on a second. Let me check my settings. HyperX Quadcast. Okay, no, that microphone's working. Okay, so Randy, this is just the microphone that I use for my YouTube broadcast. This is not the microphone that I use when I'm in the studio and I'm actually recording. When I'm in the studio and I'm actually recording, I am using a Sennheiser 416, and I've also got a Neumann U87 that I'm using when I'm in there. When I'm in the studio recording as well. So this microphone, this HyperX Quadcast S, that's just the microphone that I use for Zoom calls and doing YouTube live streams and fun things like that. And so that's what's going on there. So welcome to Free Advice Friday. Slightly new format for Free Advice Friday, or at least I'm hoping to be able to do a slightly new format for Free Advice Friday. Hoping to be able to get the most out of this software and play around. It allows me to do fun things like, put up this graphic that says, hey, make sure that you listen to the Everyday VOpreneur podcast, your guide through the business of voiceover. New episode of the podcast this week is actually, I went back through after having the opportunity to speak to all of the different CEOs that I had the privilege of talking to, I was able to go back and kind of summarize. And so that's what this episode is all about. I took 5 different lessons that I learned that seem to be universal across the board from all of the different casting site CEOs, and put those together into an episode that says, you know what, here is 5 different things that you should be taking into consideration in order to be able to have a more successful experience with online casting. And so that's what that was all about. Uncle Roy says, hello, I'm here. See, there you go. The party can start now because Uncle Roy is here. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys today. Looking forward to being a part of this whole crazy experience. I want to level up the game on Free Advice Friday. That's the idea. And so the software that I'm playing with, it's about $600 a year. No, sorry. It's $384 a year American, but that $384 American converts to about $650 a year Canadian. And so the question is, do I want to make the investment in this software? Is it going to be worth it? If it allows me to do some fun new things on Free Advice Friday, then maybe it will be worth it, and maybe I'll make the investment. Right now you can see there's a little, I think you see there's an Ecamm Live bug that's appearing in the screen. The reason why that Ecamm Live bug is appearing in the screen is because that is, it's just, I'm in trial mode for the software. I haven't paid for it yet, but looking forward to playing around with it, looking forward to using it, looking forward to trying some new things with it. And you know, we'll see how it goes. So let's go to our first question of the day, which is Brent says, this isn't entrepreneurial, but how do you know which mic to use when? Ooh, that's a great question. And I wish that there was an easy way to answer that question. How do you know which mic to use when? For me, I've only got 2 mics to choose from, so that's part of it. One of the questions that I started out with, I actually asked this question of Uncle Roy in the very beginning, and I said, I want one microphone that I can use wherever I go. One microphone that I can use across the board. One microphone that I can use if I'm in a hotel room, or I can use it if I'm in a car, or I can use it if I'm in a studio, or whatever the case may be. And at the time, his suggestion was go with the 416. It's the mic that is the most forgiving. It is the mic that gives me the ability to record in all kinds of different places, and it doesn't matter if the environment is 100% the best or not. And so that was the microphone that I went to. But then one day, a Neumann U87 showed up at my door, and that became my go-to microphone. Obviously, how could you not use a YouTube, or how could you not use a Neumann U87 when it shows up at your door? And so I took advantage of that, and that has become my studio microphone now. But trying to figure out the best microphone, I think there's a couple of things that you want to take into consideration. And Uncle Roy will be able to answer this a little bit better. Uncle Roy, check your Facebook messages. Uncle Roy would be able to answer this a little bit better, but I think one thing that you absolutely want to take into consideration is the space that you are recording in. Different microphones are going to work better in different spaces. Different microphones are probably suited a little bit more for different spaces. And so if you don't have the ability to create a nice isolation booth or recording space, that's where a microphone like the 416 is a little bit more forgiving of the space. You can record in different environments with it than, say, a U87. So I would definitely say part of it is the environment that you are recording in. I think the other part of it is your voice. Not all microphones work for all voices, and so that is certainly something to take into consideration. You know, a lot of people say that the 416, for example, it isn't great for certain female voices just because it kind of makes it sound boomy and bassy. But then there's also the fact that the 416, some people say the 416 can sound very much like it's just right there in your face. And so, you know, not everybody wants to have a microphone that is right there in your face either. And so, you know what? To answer this question a little bit better, here we go. I think we've figured this out. I think that Uncle Roy is now joining us actually live on the broadcast, which is exactly what I was hoping this software was going to be able to do. So, Uncle Roy, just to revisit the question there, The question was, this isn't entrepreneurial, but how do you know which mic to use and when? I'm sure that you probably have some thoughts on that. I said that you want to take into consideration the space that you're recording in,
Yep.
and I think you also, not every microphone is suited for every voice. Is there other
Yeah,
things that
and
we should?
you don't want to be traveling with an 87.
No, no, my U87 is never coming out of my booth.
You have three mics. What's that orange mic?
Yes, this is my HyperX Quadcast, which is my that is my microphone for my Zoom calls, and
Yeah.
I use that for basically it doesn't leave my desk. It's what I use when I'm doing my coaching and Zoom
Your
meetings and stuff like
talkback
that. But I'm
mic.
not recording voiceovers on this thing.
No, I'm not recording voiceovers on this Worker B either for $89, but it sounds good, you know. Yeah, space would be the first consideration, and travel. You can't travel. You don't want to travel with a big bulky mic. You invented the 416 travel thing container, right?
I did. That looks like a pipe bomb, which you probably don't want
Just
to take through TSA through the
what?
airport lines, but it works great when you're traveling with it in your car.
Don't tell TSA it's a shotgun mic.
Yes, don't use the word shotgun. That is good
Ex-
advice.
exactly. So travel, uh, and yes, the 416 is hypercardioid, so it's very directional in the front, but it will reject. What do you want to say? Airport sounds and the elevator coming up, and you still need a pillow for it to put it in. Uh, and the other consideration is going to be budget. Well, one consideration that you did say is genre. Yeah, I don't care for it. You do great on the 416, but some people get in the microphone and they get great. They fall in love with their voice. It's
Isn't
just
that how you're supposed to use it? I
maybe if you're
actually, you know what? Since I got the U87, I admittedly I don't use the 416 as much, but when I get there's certain documentary auditions that I get that I feel like the 416 is a little bit better for, depending on the type of the read. When I get asked for gritty, gravelly, lower range, more promo type stuff, I think the 416 is great. It's definitely
yeah.
a little much for like an e-learning read or something
No,
like
I
that.
wouldn't use it on long format like e-learning, but I watched the documentary once and all the on-camera stuff sounded great. And then the voiceover, it was definitely a 416 through too much processing, and it was just too in my face. I always say it's like Joe Cipriano yelling at you for an hour. It's too much. It's in your face.
And,
It's
and
it's
Joe would never
known
yell at you for an hour.
it no, and I told him I tell people that, but it's known as an in-your-face mic, so it's great for gaming and promo and commercials, and but not in my opinion. I would never do an audio book on a 416. It wouldn't be
So
pleasant.
give us a couple of suggestions for different budget ranges. What it, we're starting out. We don't have a lot of money. We want something under $500, and then maybe something
Yep.
in the $1,000 range, and then something in
Yep.
the U87 range.
Yep. So the lower end, which is under 300, let's say that, uh, is of course the Rode NT1, not the 1A, which we probably all know. The MXL CR89, the CAD E100SX. Those are the under 300. Those are some good go-to mics. Uh, Above that would be the Neumann TLM 102. In my opinion, not the 103, which is, well, the 103 is more expensive, but the 102 is 850 US with the shock mount. If you can find it, if you can find a used one, go for it. Then the 103 is like 1300. I don't like the 103. It's dark and sibilant, but it seems to be the industry standard. What if I want to put what microphone I have on my website? Can I put that I have a USB mic? Would that be good? Or AT2020? Would that be a good idea? No. And then the Neumann, then the 87s are around 3,500. The one I bought, I could sell for 3,500. I got a steal, not yours. I got a steal on mine. I paid $2,000. It's incredible. I paid real money for yours.
I'm worth it.
You are worth it, so you deserve it. And now that's your go-to mic. So there you go.
So Uncle Roy's going to hang out for a little bit, guys. So I will get to some of the other questions that I'm seeing popping up in the feed. But if you do have a tech and or studio question that you would like to ask, if you've got a question about microphones, interfaces, Adobe Audition,
But of course, I can't see that.
I'll let you know if the question pops up.
Yeah.
But if somebody's got a question, that if you've got studio and tech related questions, here's your opportunity to get some free advice from Uncle Roy.
How come you're not wearing an Antland shirt?
Because I'm representing the Red Sox today after
I'm representing you.
I have no idea why I'm representing the Red Sox today. They did nothing this season to earn my representation, but there's Uncle Roy's website, by the way, guys, antlandproductions.com. But anybody got a question for Uncle Roy, a tech and or?
I have a question for anyone who's not Canadian. Why weren't you at my house last weekend?
Why did you miss the barbecue? I know.
But Mark and I are planning a big brisket, #brisket23. We hope.
Yes, we hope. As long as they keep the borders open and we're allowed to go places, and
planes
do all
are
kinds
flying,
of stuff,
and gas price doesn't go berserk.
Gas price doesn't go through the roof, and yeah, there's so many factors that come into all of that. But so for those of you wanting to or wondering, welcome to Free Advice Friday. I know I screwed up. I apologize. I'm test driving this new software, and I pre-scheduled Free Advice Friday, but then it would not allow me to join that broadcast from this software, which messed everything up. So I had to start a new broadcast. So that messed some people up, and I know that means some people are probably not finding the broadcast right now. But this is Free Advice Friday. This is something that I want to do on a regular basis, having fun, bringing in some guests every once in a while, in addition to answering all of your questions myself too. But here we go. Here's a question. Kat says, what is the number one mistake people make in regards to mic technique? I bet it has something to do with getting on the mic.
Talking straight here when I'm talking straight into the microphone, getting plosives and mic proximity. People love. I'm so in love with my voice. So I tell everybody the plosives go this way. The microphone, let the microphone do the work. Let the microphone find you from like a 45-degree angle. If you're close to your mic because you can't hear yourself in the headphones, first of all, take your headphones off. You shouldn't be wearing headphones except for a directed session or punch and roll or cleaning up your mouth clicks.
I can't help it. I always wear headphones. I know I shouldn't, but I do.
Now, I'm going to use the word old. I don't mean you're old, but old radio people.
I am. It is. That's what it is. It's 20 years of radio
people. They have to hear themselves in their headphones so they know what they. But some people go a little nutty. Well, I want to hear if I make a mouth click. No, we're going to fix it later. Who cares if you make a mouth click?
Find it in the spectral view.
That's right. Did I answer a question?
I think so. I think
Cat was at my house.
I think that's probably the one thing is it's and I think mic position can make, you talked about, if I make a mouth click or, I get mouth noise and stuff like that. Mic positioning can make a difference on that too, right? We know we talk about eat your green apple and drink all of your water, but I think that the angle that we come in up or down or whatever, I think that can also make a difference with some of that stuff too, right?
Yeah. But also the volume of your delivery, because the mouth clicks and the S's and consonants are the same volume. If I'm whispering, my mouth clicks are the same volume as if I'm doing full voice. So if I've got to raise that up, the mouth clicks are going to sound like they're coming up on a softer read.
Yep. There you go. So again, Uncle Roy's going to hang out here for a bit. If you do have tech and studio questions, type it in the comments, and we're happy to answer that question. In the meantime, here's another one that came up. This one comes from Kat. This is not studio related, but it says, how the heck do you come up with all your content ideas, and how do you organize your thoughts? This is a really great question that I wish I had a really great answer to. Unfortunately, I don't. Honestly, so much of it is spontaneous and in the moment. I do try to have a level of organization. I know every week I'm going to create a podcast, and I know that that podcast is going to become social media content. So that's one thing that I can kind of plan out a little bit. I know every week I'm going to create a new YouTube video. And so that is another thing that I can plan out a little bit for social media as far as sharing and promoting that YouTube video. I know that I'm probably going to do Free Advice Friday most weeks, and so that gives me some content ideas that I can share. So that is certainly part of it. But then at the same time, I was just upstairs before the broadcast. If you've been on Instagram, you've seen this. My mother-in-law is visiting this week, and my mother-in-law loves it when I make cheesecake. That's why I'm the favorite son-in-law. And so I just posted an Instagram reel about making cheesecake because everybody knows me as the barbecue guy, but nobody knows that I make cheesecake. So that was just one of those spontaneous in the moment. Oh, I could do this on social media. But then I made a different version for TikTok because yes, that's right, guys. I am now on TikTok. You can join me on TikTok, and I'm going to be creating some different and some unique content for TikTok. But what I did was I took that same concept of, oh, this guy makes cheesecake, but I took it, a couple steps further in making a slightly more creative version of the video for TikTok. So part of it is spontaneity and in the moment, but then part of it is also planned. To be honest, one of the reasons why I love doing Free Advice Friday, one of the reasons why I have the VOpreneur group, I'm inspired by a lot of the questions that you guys ask, the things that you come to me with that you want help with. Those give me ideas of, oh, I could turn that into a video, or I could turn that into a podcast, or what if I could find somebody to interview about that, or I could turn that into a post for social media, or I could make a reel for Instagram out of that. And so I'm just always on the lookout for content opportunities. And I really think that it's like, you've probably heard the saying, work begets work, right? So once you start working, you can stay busy and keep working because work begets work. I think that there's an element of truth to that. Also, that content begets content. And when you just start posting and you give yourself the freedom to just start posting, the ideas just start coming. And that's what I found. Even like I just started doing TikTok stuff this week, and there's already a couple of videos up there, and the ideas are just popping into my head. And I've got it, here's my pad of paper. I've already got some other video ideas, some things that I've scribbled down on there. And so I think that's part of it too, is content begets content. Here's one other tip that I'll give you. Think about themes. So when I decided to do the online casting series on the podcast, as an example, that theme of online casting turned into an episode with Karin Gilfrey about auditioning for casting sites. It turned into interviews with 4 CEOs of casting sites. It was supposed to be 5, but one of them backed out. And then it turned into an episode that was me kind of summarizing everything that I learned from all of those different episodes. And then an episode that goes into negotiation tactics, which isn't specific to online casting, but we did talk about negotiation from an online casting standpoint. And so that one theme of online casting turned into multiple ideas for a whole entire series of podcasts. And so I think that using themes is definitely another strategy that you can employ. Okay, here we go. Here's another question for Uncle
A little
Jose.
bit of it is, and you're very good about it, and you talk about it all the time, is time management.
Yes.
Find the time. Okay, I'm going to get my ideas, and then you can sit down and be spontaneous, but you got to make time for it.
Yep, sit down and plan it out. The question, there's a question for you that came in from Mike Tobin. It says, if there were to be a loudness standard for auditions and VO demo, what should it be? -6, -3, -9.
Yeah,
There's all
yeah.
kinds of theories on it.
Just the VO with no production, -3. Like if you're doing an audition and delivering it. Now, some people normalize to -1. And okay, yes, theirs will be a little bit louder, but that, if they've got everybody setting at -3 and then suddenly a -1 comes in, you might startle the person. It's not that much louder, but what I do is -3 for voice only. But if it's a fully produced demo, it's normalized to 100%. Anything full production, then I did. Lila had her political demo, and so I fixed the audio, sent it in, normalized to 100. The guy says it's clipping. All right. Well, his software can't handle 100% or 0 dB, so he knocked it to -3, and then he was happy. So it depends on who the end user is.
Yeah, I tend to be a kind of a somewhere between -3 and -6. I have certain clients that they want -6. That's what they ask
Right.
for, and so hey, if that's what they ask for, that's what I'm going to deliver. But
Okay.
when I'm doing auditions and stuff like that, I tend to do
-3.
-3, somewhere around -3. Okay, here's another question for you because I had this conversation with a client recently,
Good.
um, and it's the idea of hard limiting, right? So when you're doing when you look at your wave, you'll see the big spikes that go like this, and then the little spikes that go like this or whatever. And so actually, you know what? Watch this. This is gonna
It's
be fun.
it's it's a little bit cheaty to use the hard limiter.
I'm gonna have some
Go
fun
ahead.
here because what I have discovered with this
Screen share.
software, look at this. I can bring up my iPad and I can draw a wave on my iPad that goes like this, and
Should
then you
I
get
be
a big
saying?
spike, and then you go like this, and then you get another big spike, right? And so the idea, there's your lines, right? But if you hard limit, it squeezes it all down.
You got a big block
So
of
it's like
solid
that,
crap.
right? So hard limit, yes or no? What are your thoughts on that?
On certain audiobooks where there's so much dynamics, there are little characters and big screamy characters, and it would take a long time to even out by hand, character by character. I mean, I have my list and my Magic 7 and all that. But sometimes if I can't hit those ACX numbers without doing a lot of work, then sometimes I have to cheat and put the hard limiter on. But not for an audition, not for e-learning, not for, and it has to be done tastefully. You don't want to hear it sound like it's been hard limited.
So here's a question for you because everything that we do is supposed to be conversational, right? We get told every audition is conversational, every direction from our agents is conversational, every direction from our clients is conversational.
Yeah.
When we are being conversational, there's ups and downs in our voice. And so
Yeah.
if we hard limit and pack it all together inside of that little box, does that remove some of the conversational sound?
Well, it'll remove some of the nuances, but I'm a big advocate for when the stuff is really soft. When I'm talking to somebody live, their ear and brain can adjust and understand if I start talking softer. Either they'll lean in or they pay more attention or whatever. But if you're going to put a piece of music over that, and if it's not, always kind of uniform, people tend to trail off at the ends of sentences, or
Yep.
if their pitch goes down, sometimes you have to push a little harder or reach for it a little more and just amplify the low stuff. So hardly, yeah, it takes the nuances out, but if the client is listening on a laptop, they're not going to hear much of those nuances anyway. If the big picture is conversational, that's fine. We'll hear that it's conversational. On Val Kelly's podcast with Dan Leonard. When Dan Leonard talks, he gets very excited and then he starts talking like this. And it drove me crazy. Hi, Dan. to to make it that we could always hear him and understand what he was saying. That's conversationally how he is. I'm sure when he does voiceovers, he's not like that. So conversational in the style, but that doesn't mean get soft and have so much dynamics that if they put a piece of music, we're gonna have to chase it all over the place.
Okay. Here's another question for you. This one just came in from Michael. It says, I've been seeing posts from audio engineers claiming to position the mic above your mouth line and angled back. Is there any value in this?
You have to try it. Where is the sweet spot? That's another reason to wear headphones. You can put headphones on and try to move around and find, okay, where is it the brightest? Where is it the best sounding? Um, sometimes, and sometimes it's a matter of my mic stand doesn't go that way, whether it's a scissor or so sometimes you're at the mercy of, or it's a little USB mic on a little stand on the table. uh Obviously you can't have that over here. Try it. I mean, if it sounds good, if it sounds full up here, because this is what he's talking about, um certainly the plosives will be below, and the same at your chest, so that should be a full sound. So here, there's no, it depends. There's no one answer.
I know with my 416, I have it kind of up and down, right, angled
Yeah,
down,
no,
and
and you
come at it
sound good.
that way. I think it probably depends a little bit on the polar pattern of the microphone too, right? Because microphones have patterns that pick up different
Right, but
pieces.
the 416 is one pattern. It's
No,
just
the
hypercardia.
416, yeah, but I'm saying in general to the question, it would have something to do with the patterns, right? Good question. All right. Again, if you guys have tech questions, Uncle Roy will stick around for a little bit longer, and then I will get back to some
Yeah.
of the other questions that you guys have to ask. But if you do have any kind of tech, studio, equipment, editing, etc. questions, feel free to type those into the comments. And
Hey, tell everybody they get a free home studio evaluation too.
well, why don't you tell us about the home studio evaluation?
Right. Whoever, I mean, most people know already, but if you want a free home studio evaluation, just record 10 seconds of room tone, followed by a 30-second audition read, all in one file. Please don't send me, "Hi, Uncle Roy, I didn't have a script. I'm talking into my microphone." That doesn't tell me what you sound like when you're reading in your booth. Save it as your name underscore raw dot wave, and just email me at my shameful AOL email address, antlandprods, ANTLANDPRODS, shamefully at AOL.com. Shamefully not sorry or sorry.
There you go. Send in, get your studio assessment. This is one of the things
Right.
that I've talked about in this episode that I did that summarized some of the things that I learned from the online casting. Every single one of the people that do the online casting, every single one of those CEOs said the same thing, that that was an issue, that sound quality was a big issue, that it was something that everybody was complaining about, that voice actors, we think that we've got great studios. We think we've got everything dialed in, but in reality, that is apparently not the case. And a lot of us are probably costing ourselves opportunities as a result of not having great sound. And
Like,
so,
where did you get your information about what mic should be good for you? Did you go to Guitar Center, where they service musicians and singers? They really don't know about voiceover. We love Sweetwater, and they're learning about voiceover, but that's not their main business, is musicians and singers. So they're learning about what microphones we need or we would want. Uh, and YouTube is going to be loaded with a million people. Oh, this microphone, $89. This sounds great. You really you can't put on your website, "Oh, you've got a Worker B mic," or Audio Technica 2020. Nobody's going to take you seriously, or a USB mic, a Blue Yeti, or whatever. Nobody's going to take you seriously, even if it sounds pretty good. Uh, if you can't afford the equipment, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't be in our business.
I think asking in Facebook groups is not the right place either, because when you ask in Facebook
Oh
groups, you're
God.
not going to get actual answers to the question. What you're going to get is people saying, "I use this, I use this, I use this," and that
And then
doesn't tell
following and
you,
following and
yeah,
following.
and that does not tell you what one is the best one for you. I know you've talked about this before. Like, if you've got a place where you can go and rent a couple of microphones, right? Go and pick 3 or 4 that you want to try out, bring them home, try them out in your space with your voice, rent them for a day.
John and
You can do it.
McQuaid. Go rent some mics from John and McQuaid, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you can do that relatively affordably and get a chance to actually try them out in your space. So that's another option as well. But it's a good question.
Or buy two and return one. Whatever. Sweetwater is good, or Amazon and Sweetwater are good about returns.
Yep.
So buy two and return one.
Kat says, ask 20 different people, get 20 different answers. And that's exactly why some of these equipment questions in particular, I just don't think that Facebook is the right place to ask them, because you are going to get so many different answers.
That was so helpful. She put up all the signage in the porta potties. It was great.
There you go. We needed signage in the porta potties. What were people
Well,
doing in the
and
porta
I
potties?
don't know if Kat's
Maybe I don't want to know
responsible.
what people were doing in the porta potties.
Somebody put the picture of Brad Highland in the Pez room. Somebody put it like right at the urinal, so it looked like somebody was aiming it. Like the men would have to aim. Yes, honey. Please.
So again, welcome to Free Advice Friday. If you've got a question for Uncle Roy, you can hang around for a couple more minutes. If there's a tech, studio, editing kind of related question that you want to get answered, Uncle Roy will hang out here for a couple more minutes, and we can get those questions answered. Type it into the comments by all means, and looking forward.
Want to learn about WoHop or Ruts Hut or anything?
That's right. Anything you want to talk about that way as well.
Killer Demo Adventure.
It's again, welcome to Free Advice Friday. I know I screwed up earlier. I've apologized for it, but I want to mention it again for anybody that comes back and watches the replay video. I'm test driving this new software, and I had previously scheduled Free Advice Friday Live, which was the link that everybody was going to. It's the link that everybody was waiting to watch on, but the software would not connect to that link, and so I needed to start a new stream. And so I apologize for that, but hey, this is the price that you pay for learning and trying, and hopefully it works out in the end. I think it's cool to be able to bring somebody on and have a guest on Free Advice Friday and do some different things with, bringing my iPad on the screen, because that's obviously so completely necessary and makes a big difference ultimately. But it's fun. So that's what's going on with the Free Advice Friday stream today. And if this works, then maybe this is something that I'll keep doing, including trying to bring in some other different guests to hang out for a little bit. But Uncle Roy, thank you for coming and joining the broadcast. And I will let you go. It was that Donna coming and wanting to find out what you were doing. And
she didn't realize I was on camera. So
it's okay. I'll let you go and spend some time with Donna.
Yeah.
Or, well, you probably check your email for some free studio assessments.
Oh, okay.
Some people emailed about those, and then I will answer some of the other questions that you guys are putting in the chat. I have been paying attention, so I will get to some of those questions that are not.
And I'll log into the other one, because I can't see your iPad. I want to see how cool that was.
You'll be able to go back and watch it on the replay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right, kick me out.
Okay. Talk to you later. All right, there we go. That is how it's done, or something like that. Anyway, so that was fun. All right, let me go back now, because I know that there was a bunch of questions that were coming into the chat, and I didn't get an opportunity to answer all of those before. Some of them were not related to studio and tech, so I'm going to go back through. Just let me scroll through the chat. Okay, Kat's question about content, I did answer. Bagels for everyone. Hello, Alton. All right. Let's see. Where are we going? Posts from audio engineers. Okay, we covered that one. Okay, here's a question. Let's do this one. Veronica says, hey, Mark and Uncle Roy, thanks for doing this. I'm starting to get into TikTok. Can you schedule your posts on TikTok? I will be honest with you, Veronica. I don't know the answer to that question, because I am just literally getting started with TikTok as well. I literally have done I've posted 3 TikTok videos. My third one was posted today. So I've actually only been on it for, I don't even think I've been on it for a week at this point. So I'm not sure if there's anybody here that's doing TikTok and has more TikTok experience than I do. If you can answer that question. I'm just kind of logging in quick here to see if I can see anything. I'm looking on my phone. I don't know. If anybody has a better answer to that question than I do, because I obviously don't have an answer, type it in the comments there. All right, let's see. What else are we doing? Michael, what is your question? Okay, Michael, previous question was for Roy from Mark. What social media aggregation tool do you use or recommend to hit all accounts at once and schedule, etc.? This may help piggyback for Veronica's question. So, Michael, to tell you the truth, I am not currently using any kind of scheduler or aggregator. And here's the biggest reason why. In the past, I have played with Hootsuite. I have played with Zoho's Manager for scheduling social media. And I have also used the scheduler that is built into Canva. If you have a Canva Pro membership, they offer a scheduler. And what I found was when I was scheduling out my posts through a third-party tool, I was getting a fraction of the organic reach. And so what I mean by that is if I took a post and put it directly into Facebook through Facebook, I might get 1,000 views on that post. But if I scheduled it to Facebook through one of those third-party tools, I was getting 100 views on Facebook. I don't know if that's an exact science. I just know that it's something that I was consistently seeing. And so because of that, I decided maybe it's better to just go straight to the platforms on their own. And so that was what I ultimately decided to do. I also, and I've recently did a video that talks about a social media scheduling strategy. I don't think that it's a good idea to post all of your content onto social media at the exact same time. So if you create a new post for, you create a new video or something like that, and you decide that you want to put that video out onto all of your different platforms, you're going to share it on Instagram, you're going to share it on TikTok, you're going to share it on LinkedIn, all of those different places all at the same time. This is look for this thumbnail. If you go into my YouTube channel, by the way, look for this thumbnail. It's called a content sharing strategy. I don't think that it's a good idea to blitz it out to all of the different platforms at exactly the same time. Because I think that you burn through your content too quickly. If I'm going to create a really great piece of content, I want to get the maximum exposure possible for that piece of content. And so I'm going to share it on LinkedIn on one day, but then I'm going to share it on Instagram on a different day. And then maybe I'm going to post it to Facebook on a different day again. And maybe I'm going to post it in the morning on one platform and in the afternoon on another platform and in the evening on another platform. And so I'm just trying to do that to try to get more usage and get more traction out of every post that I'm sharing. And so I would say that that's something else I would be thinking about as well. And so because I'm doing it that way, I just kind of use a task manager to remind me, go and post it here and go and post it there and whatever. I'm not saying it's the most organized or efficient at this point. I just haven't been a big fan of the results that I've seen from some of the aggregators and some of these scheduling tools and platforms that are out there. All right, here's another question. This one comes from Kat. Mark, I saw your email about marketing your demo. Can you also talk a little bit about that here? Of course, I can talk about that a little bit here. I think that when you get a new demo, obviously we're very excited about that new demo. We want as many people as humanly possible to hear that new demo. And so again, I think that's where having a strategy in play of not sharing it in all of the exact same places at the exact same time is important. I think spreading it out, I think you can take that one demo and you can literally get a month's worth of content out of that one demo by being a little bit more strategic in how you're sharing it. I always say you got to share it to your clients first, but your relevant clients. Let's say you got a new commercial demo, share that to your commercial clients. Do not share that demo to your e-learning clients, for example, because they're probably not going to care about that demo. It's not relevant to the type of work that they do. So always make sure that you're sharing it to your relevant clients. I think that's really important. So share it there first. Then you can be sharing it with your prospects. Again, sharing it with relevant prospects, making sure that it's going out to people who are actually booking you for commercial or would potentially be booking you for commercial. So I think that you absolutely need to be doing that. And then spreading it out across social media and making sure that you're trying to make it go as far as you can. Get as much traction from that demo as you possibly can. And so I did do a video on the subject of marketing that new demo that has come in. And there's a bunch of different tips that are offered in that video. So you can find that on my YouTube channel if you want to look for that one on the YouTube channel. Let me actually just take a look and see here, because you know what I can do is I can find it. Don't mind me. I'm staring at one of my other screens. I'm going to copy that link right there. We're going to go over and we're going to paste it in here. I don't know if this is actually going to create a link or not. So this will be a good test to find out whether or not this actually creates a link. But here we go. This is the link for that video. I don't know if you'll be able to click that or not. The video is called Marketing a New Voiceover Demo. And again, it was just recently shared. That was the video that went up this week. So check that one out for more tips on how to share your new demo. Just spread it out. That's the biggest thing. Spread it out. Don't try to put it in every single place at the exact same time. And I also talk a bit about, in that video, I talk a bit about making clips for all of the different parts of your demo. So again, on a commercial demo, let's say you've got 6 different spots that you do on a commercial demo. On that commercial demo, you can make a video for each one of those individual spots. And yeah, that video might only be 6 or 8 seconds long, but that's actually a perfect length for TikTok or for an Instagram story, for example. And it gives you the ability to market that specific read that you're doing. This is the thumbnail, by the way, that you're looking for. If you want to go onto my YouTube channel and find that video, this is what you're looking for: marketing a new VO demo. And you'll get all the tips that I have to offer on that one. So check that one out on the YouTube channel. All right, let's see what else is going on. Again, welcome to Free Advice Friday. For those of you that are hanging out, if you've got questions that you would like to ask, by all means, type those questions into the comments. Let's see, what does this one say? Brent says to post a video to, for example, LinkedIn. So you post a link to your YouTube video, or you post the video directly to LinkedIn? Oh, that's a good question, Brent. So this one's going to depend a little bit on what your strategy is. If your strategy is to build a YouTube channel and you want to get views on your YouTube video, you want to get subscriptions on your YouTube video, then if that's the strategy, then I would say link to the YouTube video from all of the different platforms. However, if you're not specifically trying to grow a YouTube channel, but you want as many people to see your content as possible, then I think it does make a difference if you upload organically. So if I link to a YouTube video from LinkedIn, that post is not going to get as much organic reach from LinkedIn. However, if I upload that video to LinkedIn natively, then it's going to get a lot more organic reach. And that's simply because all of these social media platforms are designed to keep you on the platform. They want you to stay on the platform. So when you're linking to an external platform, that does not keep people on the platform. So it just doesn't get as much love from the algorithm. So again, it just depends on what your ultimate objective is. Is it to grow a YouTube channel and you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of organic reach in order to try to grow that YouTube channel? Then do it that way. But if you just want as many people to see it as possible, then yeah, post natively to every single one of the different platforms. All right, here's another question. Guy says, aside from artistic training, what is the next priority? Marketing, business structure, website, other. Obviously, coaching is always going to come first. Don't do anything until you've done your coaching and your coach says that you are ready. Once you've done your coaching and your coach says that you're ready, then I think the next thing you need to be working on is your demos. Without your demos, you have nothing. You can do nothing. Those demos are your primary marketing tool. Those demos are social proof that you're able to do what you say that you can do. And so absolutely, you want to make sure that you're getting your demos. I think those are the second priority after coaching. From there, I do think you need to have a website, because the primary efforts of your website, or sorry, the primary efforts of your marketing are going to be to drive traffic to your website to listen to your demos. So I say coaching first, then when you're ready, you're going to do demos. And when your demos are done, you need to have a great website to post them on. And when I say great website, I really mean a great website. You're competing against the top voice actors in this industry. You're competing against voice actors with the best websites in this industry. And so you need a website that looks really great. You could go out and you could get a JMC produced demo, and it could be an award-winning demo. But if you post it on a crappy website, it's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to matter. as much as we say never judge a book by its cover, guess what? We live in a world where people judge the book by its cover. And so your website really does have to look great. And so I think that becomes the next priority. So you've done your coaching, you've got your demos done, you got your website done. Now you're ready for marketing. And when you're ready for marketing, that's when we can have a conversation. And I'm happy to have a conversation with you and talk a little bit more about what your strategy is going to be. I do offer 15-minute consultations on my website. If you go to marcscottcoaching.com, you can book a 15-minute free chat with me, and we can talk about next steps at that point. And maybe that's going to be sending you to somebody else. Maybe I'm going to suggest some coaching that I can work with you one-on-one. Or maybe you're already going to have your strategy in place and you don't need coaching. You just need me to say, yep, you've got a solid strategy and go to it. But that's where I can come in and help at that point. Jane says, I just found the stream. Hi, Mark. Yes, Jane, I apologize. I screwed up on the stream, and I will get that fixed for the next time around, definitely. But I just found the stream, Mark. What do you think about being Source Connect certified? Do you know if it really makes a difference having that badge? I think it can make a difference. I don't know that it makes a difference so much to the voice actor. I mean, other than if it makes you more confident with Source Connect, obviously there's a big advantage to that. But because Source Connect has become such a big part of how we do voiceover now, particularly in certain genres like commercial or animation where there's going to be a lot more directed sessions, the studios want to know that you know what you're doing. They don't want to get connected to somebody who's never done a Source Connect session before, doesn't have an idea how to make it work. And by the way, it's not complicated. But so I think in that regard, there can certainly be an advantage to being able to say that you are certified. So that just says this person's been approved by Source Connect. Their studio is approved. Their connection is approved. We know that we're going to be able to do a session with them and not have any problems. And so I do think in that regard, there's absolutely an advantage to getting that Source Connect certification. And like I said, it's also nice to get that for your own peace of mind. It makes you feel a little bit better knowing that you're good to go. Great question. Guys, I also want to remind you about this. I created a new free resource. You know, we've been talking a little bit about TikTok. I mentioned the fact that I am now on TikTok and I've started playing around with it a little bit. I've created this free resource, which you can download. The website is marcscottcoaching.com/20 video ideas. Marc Scott Coaching. Let me put that on the screen /20 video ideas. This is a free resource that you can download, and it's going to give you exactly what it says it's going to give you. It's going to give you 20 different ideas for content that you can create for TikTok videos and Instagram reels. It's a platform that it's hard to ignore now. The amount of organic reach that you can get, the size of the audience that you get access to, how open the algorithms are right now, it's really hard to ignore these platforms. And so if you haven't signed up for this one yet, there's the website, marcscottcoaching.com/20 video ideas. This is a completely free download, and I think that this will inspire you to your next great post on TikTok and or Instagram. And so check that one out. Let's see. Jane says, I created free profiles on Bidalgo and Voquent this week because of your interviews. Thank you for having those discussions. Absolutely. The interview with Miles from Voquent was fantastic. I learned a ton from that interview. Guys, if you haven't had an opportunity to do it yet, go back, check out the online casting site series episodes from the podcast. I had the opportunity to interview Rolf Feldman from Voice 123, Liz Atherton from Cast Voices, Armin Hirstetter from Bidalgo, and Miles Chacoin from Voquent. So 4 of the big players in online casting, and every single one of them gave a fantastic interview. Of course, the podcast available wherever fine podcasts are given away for free, or check out the website at VOpreneur.com. And you're able to go and listen to all of the different episodes right from VOpreneur.com. Search back through the archives as well. So check that one out. It was a really, really great series, and I'm glad that I was able to do it. All right. Have I missed anything? Let me just start scrolling through here. I want to make sure guys, thank you so much for bearing with me, by the way, as I play around with this new software. I'd love to know what you think about it. Are you happy with it? Do you like it? How did it look on your end? Obviously, I can only see it on my end. Is the video quality good? Do things look clean on the screen? If you've got any feedback, that would be really helpful before I decide to make a decision to spend, $650 on this software. Keeping in mind, I've only been playing with it for a couple of days, so I will get better. I will get smoother with it. But I'd love to know what you think about it and whether or not you thought that it brought anything to the broadcast. It was kind of nice to be able to bring Uncle Roy on, and that's something that I'd like to be able to do in the future is bring in other guests and maybe have some more fun that way for Free Advice Friday. All right, let's see. Just scrolling through the chat here just to see if I missed your question, let me know. Maybe retype it if I did miss it, and I apologize. I'm trying not to miss everything, but I'm just going to scroll through here quickly. But if I did miss it, feel free to retype it, resend it to me, and I'm keeping an eye out for it. Let's see. It doesn't look like I missed anything. Alton says, quick note, the video quality was not very good with the shared screen with Uncle Roy. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for that, Alton. I'll have to go back and watch that later and see if there's see what it looks like on the back end, whether or not it improves at all, because I certainly don't want bad video quality. Anybody else have any comments on that? Did you notice? Was it that the video was blurry? Was it the lighting? Was it something like that? Just let me know. What about for the different titles and stuff like that have been coming up on the screen? Have those been good? Again, I like I said, guys, I'm playing with this software for the first time, so I'm just kind of learning as I go here. There was also a few dropouts. Okay, it was blurry. Okay, good to know. Michael says it seemed fine to me. Okay, all right. Anybody else have thoughts on that? The only issue I had was that Uncle Roy was much louder than you. Okay, that's good to know. There is a mixer that is built into the software, so next time around I can have a little bit more control over that. So that's good to know. Veronica says I had the same issue. Same issue for the same issues for a bit too. Veronica, so you're saying it was a little bit blurry? The links are a little bit blurry. Kat says I had no issues. Okay, so this is interesting. So some of you were having issues. Some of you were not having issues. So I will have to go back and see what it looks like. I'll go back and watch the replay when this is done and see what it looks like. But I don't know. You cannot click the links. Okay. And I didn't know. I did not know if you would be able to click the links or not. So that is good to know. You know what I can do though, because there were a couple of different videos that I talked about. So let me do this. Okay, here is the marketing a new VO demo. There's the link to marketing a new VO demo. I put that one in the chat. And here is a link to a social media marketing strategy. There you go. Put that one in the chat as well. So hopefully you can click them from the chat, guys. Thank you for letting me know about that. I was curious whether or not the links would be clickable when I shared them on the screen, and maybe there's a way to do it. I just haven't figured it out yet. But again, still learning. First time playing with the software. All in all, I think things went relatively smoothly, but I will definitely go back and check some of those video issues that you guys mentioned. And definitely not as many people on the broadcast today because there's a lot of people probably sitting on the old link and wondering what the heck is going on. So that is something that I'm going to have to figure out how to make right for the next time around, because definitely there was a problem with that. That was my fault. That was rookie error using the software, but I will certainly be able to correct that for the next time. All right, I do have a couple more minutes. If anybody's got, I can answer one more question. If somebody's got one, I can take a final question for Free Advice Friday. Would love to know what you guys want to talk about. Love to know if there's questions that I can answer for you. Let me know. What do you want to talk about? What can I help you with? Just playing with the new software. I'm watching on YouTube. When I clicked one of the links, it jumped out of the stream to open. Okay, so Jane, curious, are you watching on YouTube on mobile? Are you watching on a desktop? I don't know if that makes any difference. And did you click a link off the screen, or did you click a link from the chat? Some great stuff coming up on the podcast, by the way, guys. Now that the online casting site series has pretty much wrapped up, I can give you a little bit of a sneak preview as to some of what is coming. And there is definitely some good stuff coming. I've been doing a couple more interviews this week as well. So the new episode that is out right now is just talking about 5 different things that you can do that will make you more successful on online casting. And that is just directly a result of my interviews with all of the CEOs and listening to the things that they have said. So watch for this one, 5 tips for online casting success. That is the episode of the podcast that is out right now. Again, that is available at VOpreneur.com or wherever fine podcasts are given away for free. So make sure that you give that one a listen. Let's see, what do we got coming up after that? Maria Pendolino is going to be on next week, and we are talking about negotiation, and it literally is like a negotiation masterclass. October 27th, I've got Rudy Gaskins on the show, and we are talking about SOVIS, the Society of Voice Arts and Sciences. So we're talking about SOVIS, we're talking about the Voice Arts Awards, and we're also talking about That's Voiceover, which is the conference that SOVIS puts on. And then November 3rd, a really great episode coming up. The episode on November 3rd is with Reed Montague, and we are talking about cybersecurity, which is something that a lot of voice actors probably don't think about, but more voice actors definitely need to think about. And that was a fantastic interview. So that one's coming up in November. So already planning well ahead for the podcast. Oh, here's a question. Jane says, did you take advantage of any Prime deals? As a matter of fact, I did take advantage of a Prime deal. So there you go. That is the newest toy that I bought for myself. So this is a little wireless microphone that I can use for my phone. So it's got this little receiver here that has the lightning connector. So it just plugs into my phone like so. And then the wireless microphone, which just clips on like so. And I've done a couple of videos with it on Instagram now and a couple of videos with it on TikTok. It seems to be pretty good. Sounds all right. Certainly sounds better than not having a microphone. And it's nice to be able to not be tied down by a cord. So yeah, that was my purchase. It is a L'Oreal. I don't know if you can see that. L'Oreal, L-E-E-R-E-E-L, a L'Oreal wireless lavalier microphone, and scored a pretty good deal on that one for Prime Day. So there you go. That was my purchase. All right, guys, I got to wrap this one up. I got things that I got to do, but thank you so much, as always, for hanging out for Free Advice Friday. Let me jump ahead on my schedule. I do have Free Advice Friday put into my calendar for next week. So same bat chime, same bat channel, 1 o'clock Eastern, October 21st. If everything works out, I will be back for Free Advice Friday. I'll try not to screw up the link this time around so that everybody knows and everybody will be able to join the broadcast without issue this time around. But thank you so much for watching. Whatever you decide to do this weekend, have fun, stay safe, and as always, go find some leads.